Hello there, my name is James Harrington. If Spanish football is for you, then this is the place to be. Today, I'll be naming my 26-man squad for the Spanish national team for the European Championships, which I'm so excited they're going to happen this summer. Spain have to play Slovakia, Sweden and Poland in the group stages, and I thought I'd do this video now, because we don't know exactly when Luis Enrique is going to name his 26-man squad, so it'll be interesting to see how his side differs from mine. And as well, with the La Liga season drawing to an end, an exciting close, I thought it would be nice to try a different kind of content. Well, let's get into it. First up, for goalkeepers. Now this is something I really had to mull over, but the first name I'm going to give is Unai Simon, the Athletic Club goalkeeper. Now someone who's famed for his reflex and distribution. For me, I feel there's a mistake in the locker, but Luis Enrique seems to disagree with me, naming him as the number one for all of the March internationals. Someone who, let's not forget, Athletic Club allowed Kepa Arrizabalaga to go to Chelsea because they felt Unai was the bigger talent. He is only 23 years old, there's room to grow in confidence and ability, but I do think he will be Spain's number one this summer. My second goalkeeper is David De Gea of Manchester United. Now David De Gea is formerly Spain's number one, someone who really is experienced at major tournaments. Whilst this season at Manchester United he has been usurped by Dean Henderson, let's not forget he is an incredible shot stopper, as evident in his performance against Roma in the Europa League. Whilst I do think Unai will be the number one choice this summer, I think David De Gea will give him a run for his money. Now my third choice goalkeeper, and this is an interesting one. In the March internationals they called up Robert Sanchez from Brighton, which was a left field suggestion. However, I feel there are a number of more experienced, better goalkeepers in La Liga who deserve to be called up to the Spanish national side. And for me, that is Fernando Pacheco of Alaves. There are other goalkeepers I could have chosen, Ramiro from Real Sociedad, Asenjo from Villarreal. However, for me, Pacheco has saved Alaves countless times this season, putting in some really big performances. And even though he hasn't got the most clean sheets, think about the defence he has in front of him. Pacheco has faced the most shots on target in La Liga this season and made the 5th most saves, behind the likes of Oblak, Domenech, Badilla and Courtois. I feel a call up to the Spanish national team is just reward for a good season. So we now move on to defenders, and this is where a real debate has to be had. That being with Sergio Ramos, the Real Madrid captain and the Spanish national team captain. Now there's a lot of doubts whether he'll be fit for the European Championship, and Luis Enrique really is unsure of calling him up. In 2021 he's only made 5 appearances for Real Madrid and 2 for La Roja. Look, he is the most capped player in Spanish football history. He is a leader, a threat from set pieces, great at passing and a very vocal presence in the dressing room, even when he's been injured, very vocal on the sidelines. I understand Luis Enrique's difficulties when coming to a decision whether to take Ramos, but I think he inevitably will do. He's just too big a presence not to have. And what he'll probably do is take an extra defender as cover just in case Ramos can't play. The next defender, and this is an interesting one, Aymeric Laporte of Man City. Now when I was originally writing this video and thinking about who was going to be in my squad, it wasn't until the past week that Laporte featured in my thinking, having switched allegiances from France to Spain, exploiting the rule change which meant if you haven't played for the country in more than 3 matches by the age of 21 or in a major tournament you can switch allegiances. Laporte moved to Bilbao in 2010 to play for their academy, and look, whilst he may not be one of the automatic starters at Man City behind the revitalised John Stones and the impressive Ruben Dias, there's no doubt in this guy's talent. And with having switched allegiances, it seems like he's going to be on the plane with the Spanish national side this summer. The other centre-back choices for me, Pau Torres of Villarreal. Now I'm a big fan of his. He's got brilliant passing and gets really involved in the build-up play. He's done a lot alongside Albiol this season, and if Sergio Ramos is to start, he's his default partner for me. Then there's Inigo Martinez of Athletic Club. For me, another player who's very comfortable with the ball at his feet. Someone who I also feel has matured quite a lot this season with less errors in his play, and he's a real presence at set pieces. The next player is another Real Madrid player, and it's Nacho Fernandez, someone who I've been so impressed this season, filling in for a number of first team players who've got injuries. He's quadrupled his appearances this campaign compared to last. He's so athletic, so versatile, so quick, and he's also very experienced on playing the big stage when called upon. The final centre-back for me is Eric Garcia. Now, Eric Garcia hasn't played a phenomenal amount of minutes for Man City this season, being only 307 in the Premier League. Now, this was compounded by the fact he decided not to sign a new deal last summer, with his desire to move to Barcelona this summer. But considering he played at the March Internationals, considering everything I said about Ramos, I think he's going as added defensive cover. So Eric Garcia is the final centre-back on my list. So that then leads me to my full-backs. Now, I don't think my first three are controversial. There's Gaia of Valencia, Alba of Barcelona, and Navas of Sevilla. But that leaves one final slot, and I think that's going to go to Marcos Llorente of Atletico Madrid. Now, it pains me to put Marcos Llorente as a right-back, because I think he does his most damage in that final attacking third more centrally. However, he was able to do it in the March Internationals, filling in for that position. And look, my arm has been full. So injuries to Carvajal, to Vasquez, to Sergio Roberto have meant that Marcos Llorente has had to deputise in that position. And whilst it pains me to do that, it seems like Luis Enrique is happy to do so. So I think Marcos Llorente will be playing right back this summer. So now we move on to the midfield, starting with Koke, the 29-year-old Atletico Madrid captain, someone who's been so instrumental to their success this season. Very versatile player, someone who can play in that deeper midfield role, but also in a more central midfield role. He leads Atletico Madrid for passes, so he's really important in their build-up play. But also with Koke, what you find is his emotion can really project throughout the pitch. He can bring calmness when there's panic, but also he can add that aggression, that bite in midfield. My next inclusion is Sergio Busquets of Barcelona. Now, Sergio Busquets is in some of the best form he's had in recent years. In that pivot role for Barcelona, with those important tackles to protect the defence. He was part of that World Cup winning side in 2010 and that Euro winning side in 2012. Master the dark arts. I think he'll definitely be in the squad. The next player, Rodri of Man City. Now, a very similar player to Busquets in terms of that deep line midfielder who's there to shield the defence. But what Rodri does for Man City is that he leads them in terms of pressures, in terms of tackles, and the ball goes through him quite a lot. He enables other players while he's sitting deep to push further forward. Rodri is seen as the long-term successor for Fernandinho, and he's just another robust midfielder that Luis Enrique can call upon. Next, we have Sergio Canales of Real Betis. Now, a very, very versatile player. He can play as that number 10, that attacking midfielder, or that number 8 central midfielder. A very smart player, exceptional positional play in between the midfield and attacking lines. For Real Betis this season, he's such an important figure for them. 9 goals, 6 assists, and I'm sure he'll be mightily important for Spain this summer. My next central midfielder is Thiago of Liverpool, a man who's greatly admired by Luis Enrique, who was exceptional at Bayern Munich. Probably not hit the heights that Liverpool fans would have hoped for this season, but is growing in confidence in recent weeks. Technically, he is an artist, and when in possession, he can really hurt the opposition. The next player I've called up is Ferran Torres, and I'm writing this just after he scored a hat-trick against Newcastle United. He has been a really good player in his first season for Man City, and he's demonstrated exceptional instinct in front of goal. Pep Guardiola, after the game against Newcastle, said he cannot see why this man can't be a future number 9, filling the boots for legendary Argentinian striker Sergio Aguero. He has the best shot accuracy out of any City player at 60% and the best strike conversion rate. Remember, this is a guy who got a hat-trick in the Nations League in that famous 6-0 victory against Germany. Ferran Torres, on his day, can be electric. Next for me is Dani Olmo. Now, Dani Olmo, compared to his compatriots, has an unconventional path, playing for Dinamo Zagreb in Croatia and now RB Leipzig in Germany. He scored in the March Internationals against Kosovo and Georgia, and for this season for RB Leipzig, he's averaging 3.16 shots per 90 and has all got 9 assists this season. Dani Olmo is a real asset for the Spanish national team, playing across the attacking midfield from left, centre and right. Next for me, Miguel Oyarzabal of Real Sociedad. 11 goals, 7 assists this season. He got that decisive penalty in the 2019 delayed Copa del Rey final. He bleeds for the Jury Erdin. An all-round productive campaign. For the Spanish national team, he's got 13 appearances and 4 goals. And for me, he's just a really intelligent player out on the flanks, and he should be in this squad. Next up for me is Pedri of Barcelona. It's easy to forget this is his first season playing for the Catalan Giants, but he's just been so impressive. Doesn't seem to be phased when under pressure from the opposition, has exceptional pass precision, a lovely dribbler in and around the box, and even though he's diminutive in size, he can muscle the opposition, drawing comparisons to the like of Iniesta. Now for me, this tournament is a massive learning experience for Pedri, and what's going to happen is he's just going to grow and grow in confidence going forward and become even more important for future years for the Spanish national side. My final midfielder is Adama Traore of Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now he is a man who divides opinion. He should have more goals, he should have more assists, there's no question about that, but he just has that spark, and especially his pace and his strength can be a real nightmare for the opposition. If you're looking for someone to change the game, be that impact sub late on, you bring on Adama Traore, and especially against tired opposition. We now move on to my attackers. Now, the question is, who is going to be my first choice leading the line for Spain in the tournament? Well, it's between two people. Firstly, Alvaro Morata of Juventus. 18 goals in all competition for the Italian side, and in 39 appearances for the Spanish national team, 19 goals. He is a very intelligent player, can hold the ball up well to bring his teammates into play, and he has a lot of energy. Now, Alvaro Morata's coming under criticism, and you can say something's unfair. Maybe he's just not a glamorous enough striker to lead the line for Spain, but he gives his all for the Spanish shirt, and what more can you ask for? The other striker, Gerard Moreno of Villarreal, who has been so exceptional this season. He's second in the Liga top scorer charts with 23 goals, 6 assists, 0.8 goals per 90, only getting his Spain debut in 2019 with 5 goals in 10 appearances. He has just been the complete forward for Villarreal. He's able to drop deeper, be involved in the build-up play, he's able to play on the flanks, but also he's able to be that central reference point up top. Now there's no question of if Gerard Moreno is going to be selected for the Spanish national team. The question is, does he get the nod ahead of Morata? And for me, I hope so. So that then leaves my third striker. Now this was a tricky one for me. Who should go along to support Alvaro Morata and Gerard Moreno? Names that I want to float is Rafa Mir of Huesca. You might think that's a bit of a left field suggestion, but he has represented Spain at under 21 level. He's got 13 goals for the side threatened with relegation, and if they do stay up, he is so crucial to their survival. Now, whilst accept it may be too soon for Rafa Mir, but he should be part of the conversation. Another player, Rodrigo of Leeds. Now, Rodrigo has struggled in behind Patrick Bamford this season for Marcelo Bielsa, but for Spain, in 25 appearances, he's got 8 goals. And on the weekend, he did get a lovely brace against Burnley. But the third striker I'm going to go with is Iago Aspas of Celta Vigo. 13 goals, 12 assists. He clearly knows where the back of the net is, but also creates opportunities for his teammate. He's so critical to Celta Vigo, and in the past his omission from the Spanish national side has been debated, but I think he needs to go as that third striker to really push and challenge Gerard Moreno and Alvaro Morata. So that's it. That's my 26-man squad for the Spanish national team this summer at the European Championships. If you did enjoy the video, please hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, and why not give the video a thumbs up? It's all greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.